Hello there, and thank you so much for joining us here. I'm Netta Irampour. Here at CBS 8, we are working for you. We're getting to the bottom of problems you've asked us about, and we are looking for solutions. So today, we begin with one of the biggest stories from the past week. That 5.2 magnitude earthquake south of Julian had a lot of us talking here. The worst quake to hit in San Diego County since 2010. Thankfully, no reports of any major damage, but a lot of homeowners now asking questions about earthquake insurance. Do you need it? Do you have it? CBS 8's David Gottfriedson working for you. He talked with an expert about the options available to protect your home.
Now that the dust is settled from Monday's 5.2 earthquake, you might be thinking about updating your earthquake insurance. Getting the right coverage might help you and the kids sleep better at night.
Well, it's definitely a wake-up call. That's the cliche phrase that we hear every time there's an earthquake, but it's really true.
Carl Sussman is an independent insurance agency owner. And while mortgage companies generally do not require earthquake insurance, Sussman says it's a good idea.
Homeowners insurance does not cover earthquakes. It's specifically excluded. So the only way to have coverage in the event of an earthquake is to buy a separate earthquake insurance policy.
The California Earthquake Authority is the largest provider of earthquake insurance in California. It is a nonprofit set up by the state, but not funded by the state. Other private insurance companies also offer earthquake policies.
It definitely makes sense to shop around from these different companies because one rate could be very different than another.
When it comes to earthquake coverage, the lower the deductible, the more expensive the policy. But if your house is worth more than $1 million, or if it was built before 1980, the lowest possible deductible you can get from the California Earthquake Authority is 15%. So on a $1 million home, that's a $150,000 deductible.
These policies aren't designed to pay for, the lamp that falls over, right, or something minor that happens.
The good news is, unlike wildfire insurance, earthquake insurance is really easy to get right now, and it's offered by several different companies. Working for you, David Gottfriedson, CBS 8.
Something you may be considering right now. And now, millions of families reportedly losing thousands of dollars every year on perfectly good food, all because of those confusing expiration dates. Have you ever sat and wondered, what does all this mean? CBS 8's Shannon Handy working for you to clear up that confusion and has details on a new law which will overhaul the way our food gets labeled.
The majority of food packaging have expiration dates printed on them. Experts say before you toss them out, consider these dates aren't telling the full story.
Are expiration dates confusing to the consumer? Absolutely.
It's an issue Kate Garrett wants more people to know about and one she's working to combat. Garrett is the director of supply chain at Feeding San Diego. She says expiration dates on food are confusing because they can mean different things.
Anywhere from best by, use by, sell by. It's tough for the typical consumer to really know what to use.
Oh my goodness, June 2022.
Looking through the food I have at home, my first instinct is to get rid of it. But Garrett says not so fast. Oftentimes, these dates have nothing to do with food safety, yet people like myself throw it out, wasting both money and resources. A recent study by nonprofit ReFed found in 2023, wasted food amounted to nearly 74 million tons.
That's actually 31% of all of the food that was produced in the U.S. in 2023.
Here's what you should know. Best if used by date indicates quality, not safety. The food might not be at its best flavor, but it's safe to eat. Sell by dates are for retailers, not consumers. It's a date for when the manufacturer wants the store to stop displaying the product. Finally, use by is the last date recommended for best quality. It's not considered a safety date unless it's infant formula. Garrett says non-perishable items usually last months or even years past the printed date. To check, she suggests using the Food Keeper app. It allows you to input an item and learn the extension of it. Feeding San Diego uses FoodKeeper to determine what they can and can't give away. It's allowed them to ensure more people are fed instead of having good food go to waste.
Last year, we distributed over 33 million pounds of food, and 91% of that was actually rescued food.
California is doing their part to cut food waste. Starting July 1st, 2026, the use of sell-by dates will be banned, making us the first state to do so. Instead, only 2 categories will be allowed: best if used by to indicate peak food quality, and used by to indicate food safety.
And we really are going to be able to look at a date and feel confident knowing that it's safe to consume.
Working for you, Shanna Handy, CBS 8.
The deadline to get your Real ID is quickly approaching, and now some DMV offices across San Diego are opening early, specifically for those Real ID appointments. Starting May 7th, the federal government will start enforcing the Real ID Act. They're going to look for that star right there on the top right. That means you'll need a Real ID or another approved federal document like a passport. That would be to board domestic flights and to enter federal buildings like courthouses or military bases. To keep up with the uptick in demand for Real ID appointments, DMV offices in San Marcos, Poway, Claremont, and El Cajon will be opening early for appointments. They're going to open at 7 a.m. That's 7 to 8 a.m. on Mondays, Tuesdays, Thursdays, and Fridays.
We're not surprised by the increased number of folks who want to upgrade to a Real ID at this time.
Those 4 local DMV locations will open early by appointment through June 27th. Right now, there's a growing concern over this eyesore in Chula Vista, and it's where a piece of land next to a shopping center has turned into this dumping ground. The neglected creek bed has been overrun. There's trash and encampments that have been there for years. A viewer reached out to us wondering why nothing has been done. CBS 8's Brian White working for you to get answers.
Yeah, here on one end of the creek bed, the lock to this gate has been broken. This is where people are getting in. They're setting up encampments and trashing the place and even starting fires.
This is cell phone video from Tuesday showing the creek bed on fire, with the Chula Vista Fire Department working to put it out.
It's extremely dangerous, especially if you have the winds changing, you have a residential area, you have businesses here.
Carlos Rodriguez lives 2 blocks away. He reached out to us and showed me the trash and encampments that have been here for years.
So look at this homeless encampment. This homeless encampment has literally been here for 5 or 6 years, and nothing has been done about it.
He showed me the tents and garbage and debris that's everywhere here along the embankment.
I see mattresses, I see chairs, wood. So literally you have a piano sitting here. I don't know how a piano ended up in this rubbish, but there it is.
Carlos says there's been confusion over who's responsible for cleaning it up. The area is right next to the 54 freeway, so I reached out to Caltrans. They said their property ends at the fence line, and these issues are on the south side of the fence. So I contacted the city of Chula Vista. They told me this land is privately owned by someone who used to own the shopping center next door before it was sold. I asked around and found out that management at Best Buy and Walmart organized a cleanup here several months ago at their own expense, because it seems the owner is not doing anything.
It's just disheartening. It makes me feel like our city doesn't care, they don't want to do anything, and yet we're still paying tax dollars upon tax dollars, property tax, and nothing is getting done.
The city tells me they're going to contact the property owner to provide guidance on cleaning and securing the property. We're going to stay on top of this story. Working for you in Chula Vista, Brian White, CBS 8.
Did you get a warning on your phone before the earthquake hit San Diego? Coming up, we're going to dig into the technology and explain to you how it works. And later on, why takeout is costing more in San Diego. We're digging into the reasons behind those high restaurant prices. Welcome back. Many of you likely received an emergency alert to your phone right around the time of last week's earthquake. A lot of people were screenshotting it. That was made possible due to the researchers behind California's My Shake Alert app. CBS 8's Brian White working for you and explains how it all works.
When an earthquake hits California, The state's MyShake app is designed to instantly send out a warning for magnitude 4.5 or higher, giving people crucial seconds to take cover before the strong seismic waves hit.
We know that this tool does work and that it has a lot of potential for everyone in California.
Earthquake detected.
And this is the Alert San Diego app with a Shake Ready SD feature. Both this and the MyShake app are tied into the Shake Alert California Earthquake Warning System. Now, Shake Alert is using new technology to make earthquake warnings more accurate. The system previously relied on the network of ground-based seismometers, but it's also using GPS sensors. Robert DeGroot with the U.S. Geological Survey says those can measure the strength of the quake from space-based satellites.
Instead of measuring how fast the ground is moving, is what seismometers do, we are now measuring how far the ground moved, up, down, sideways. And what that translates into, potentially, is getting alerts to people faster.
He says the new data can more accurately determine the magnitude of larger earthquakes, like the Loma Prieta quake that struck San Francisco in 1989.
We need that extra information to give us a more accurate and potentially faster characterization of how big that earthquake is getting.
These warning apps can alert you up to 10 to 20 seconds before the shaking starts, depending on how far away you are from the quake's epicenter.
The farther you're away, the more warning time you'll get. Even a couple of seconds matters.
You can download both the MyShake and Alert San Diego apps for free from the Apple App Store and Google Play Store. Brian White, CBS 8.
New tariffs on imported cars has buyers considering pre-owned vehicles. Coming up, we're going to show you how to make a smart purchase amid a surge in used car sales. Welcome back, and take a look at your screens right here. How cool is this? A rare, colorful sight appearing under Crystal Pier in Pacific Beach. Dozens of these vibrant sea stars in purple, red, and orange. They're often hidden during high tide. They can be seen, though, here clinging to pier pilings at low tide. So time your walk out accordingly to check them out. These sea stars were once nearly wiped out by a mysterious disease in 2014. They are now making a comeback along the West Coast. Sea stars are key predators in their ecosystem, feeding on mussels, and their return signals a positive development for marine life. Glad to see that. What a treat it is. If you've noticed your favorite takeout order costing a little more lately, you're not alone. San Diegans are feeling the pinch as restaurant prices climb as part of a broader trend. CBS 8's Brian White taking a closer look at what is driving these price hikes.
When I look at my bank account and see just all the prices and stuff from the different places like Chick-fil-A and In-N-Out, I'm like, it hurts. It definitely hurts to look at.
Between classes and work, McKinley McCullough relies on grab-and-go meals to keep up with her hectic schedule. But with prices rising, even a simple lunch run is starting to add up.
At times, I do have to get a lot of takeout because it's like the quickest and easiest way, but it does get really, really expensive.
According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, yearly inflation for grocery prices is now below 4% here in San Diego, but food away from home, like restaurants and takeout, is costing over 6% more than this time last year, well above the national average.
It's difficult. They're already stressed here in San Diego because of the high housing costs, and now you have an increase in food prices on top of that, and it's really straining people's budgets.
Dr. Alan Jin is an economics professor at the University of San Diego. He says restaurants are under a lot of pressure right now.
They're facing these high food costs, and so that is forcing them then to raise their prices. But on top of the increase in food costs, they also have some other issues they need to deal with. For example, rising labor costs.
He points out that restaurants have dealt with labor shortages since the pandemic, causing many to raise wages in order to fill positions and retain employees. On top of that, minimum wage for fast food workers in California went up from $16 to $20 an hour last year.
That's going to impact wages throughout the restaurant industry. because the other restaurants, the non-fast food restaurants, have to compete with fast food restaurants then for workers.
There's some relief at the pump with gas and diesel prices trending down. That's good news for delivery and supply chain costs. But Dr. Jin says many restaurant owners are still in limbo, waiting to see how tariffs on imported goods might impact their bottom line. Brian White, CBS 8.
We're continuing to work for your wallet. The San Diego City Council approved an ordinance to require grocery stores to provide paper coupons along with the digital ones, so you don't always have to download an app. The goal is to help seniors, low-income households, and non-native English speakers who may lack access to digital tools. This ordinance passed on its first reading last month. The recent vote means it will take effect this summer. If you are in the market to buy a car right now, you may want to throw out everything that you think you know out the window. Right now, used cars seem to be the better route to go instead of a new one. But there are still things to watch out for. CBS 8's Steve Price working for your wallet. He talked to experts about what you should know before you buy a car.
Between tariffs on new cars and economic uncertainty, used car sales are surging right now. But buying a used car is very different than buying a new car. So working for you, we checked with some experts to get some tips before you buy.
You find a good pre-owned car that was well taken care of, you can save a lot of money.
General Manager Chris George says they sell a lot of cars with 70, 80, even 90,000 miles at Hyundai of El Cajon because most vehicles these days are built so well. But his advice to all used car buyers, get a second opinion.
I think you should always take it to your own mechanic. Get that unbiased opinion. We're selling you something, so there's a motivation there, there's a bias there. So keep us honest. They find things, and I just think that's a great precaution.
Another tip, buy a certified used car. That tells you the vehicle has undergone a rigorous inspection process that makes it eligible for a better warranty.
The warranty is actually as good or better than a brand new car. It starts from the original in-service date, but it gets extended because it's a certified pre-owned.
His third tip, check the Carfax on the vehicle, which will give you the complete history. His dealership makes them available online and on site.
Who owned it was a rental car company, and know whether or not this car was taken care of, and it also indicates if there's any damages that have been on the car that have been repaired.
If you have to get a car within the next, let's say, 2 to 3 months.
Ann Wynn is Carfax's Director of Public Relations. She says their data recommends buying a car now if you need one right away because it looks like prices will go even higher as we head towards summer. Her other tip, watch out for online sales that seem too good to be true because they usually are.
You want to see that car in person. You want to test drive it. You want to experience the performance, the comfort, and the features of the car.
2 other tips from our experts. Used electric vehicles are an especially good value right now, and call your insurance company before you buy a car. Find out how much your coverage will cost. That could spare you from a huge unexpected expense. Working for you, Steve Price, CBS 8.
Hopefully that helps you out if you are looking to buy right now. And that is going to do it for us. Thank you so much for being with us here. Remember, if there's something you want us to look into, go ahead and email us at workingforyou@cbs8.com. You see it right there on your screen. Thanks again for being with us, and we will see you next time on CBS 8 Plus. Download on your TV and watch for free.